We had to do the recovery effort with the available and appropriate material we have on the ground. We had some body bags at the scene, but the remains were so heated that it was not conducive for the bags to be used. It was in a thick forest, it was getting late. We had the option of leaving our remains there to the following day, and we know what could have happened to the bodies. So the team that was up there assessing the situation decided to use available material they could lay hands on to start to descend the high ground. At the foot of the hill, they met the medical team, and with the body bags that they had, some of which have been also sent from Anglo Gold Ashanti, they kept our fallen heroes in those bags decently. They kept them in ambulances and sent them to Kumasi, where they were kept in coffins and draped in national colors, befitting their status as patriots of this country. Subsequently, we moved them to Accra, and you saw the kind of reception that was arranged for them back in Accra. Let me say that all these things were done hurriedly. So there might have been some mistakes. In the morning when the aircraft was taking off, nobody expected any such disaster. But from the crash to Accra, it's possible, likely, that some things might have been done that were not in conformity with our culture. But I must tell you that those who are on the ground assess the situation, and from where I stand, and looking back, I think that they did the best with the resources that they had at hand. I will continue to urge all of us to have patience. The investigations have started. We are about completing the preliminary investigations, and that is what we inform the kind of investigations that we need to undertake. As at this moment, we have retrieved and are keeping the anti-crash recorder. We are waiting on the experts, the manufacturers, and a decision will be taken as to how it will be decoded. If there are any further information that we get which is new from what has happened, we will let you know. But I want to say emphatically that recovering our patriots who lost their lives on that day from that high ground to Accra within 10 hours was something worth noting. With regards to the issue concerning the assaults that occasionally sometimes happen, we have almost about nearly 30,000 military personnel. So you can see that the infractions we are talking about are just very, 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 very little. But I can tell you that this is not what the Ghana Military High Command endorses. We don't. We don't endorse assault, not only on journalists, but also on civilians. And for any of all of these incidents, we do our possible best to investigate.
Now, security consultant Richard Kumado has joined us via Zoom to pick his thoughts on the updates given by the Chief of the Defense Staff, Lieutenant General William Ejapon, as is defending the efforts of the military personnel in the recovery of the remains of the helicopter crash, and also bringing us updates on the anti-crash recorder. Richard Kumado, thanks for joining us on Newsnight. Mr. Kumado, yeah, kindly unmute so we can hear you. All right, Richard Kumado is a security consultant, and he has joined us via Zoom for a conversation on the updates given by the Chief of the Defense Staff, Lieutenant General William Ejapon, who has defended the efforts of the military personnel in the recovery of the remains of the helicopter crash, and also stating they operated with the resources available to them at the time of the incident. He also spoke to us about the anti-crash recorder, which is currently in their possession. And a while ago, the Ghana Armed Forces also says that it will involve an international expert in probing the helicopter crash. Richard Kumado has joined us via telephone. Mr. Kumado, thanks for joining us on Newsnight.
Thank you.
Right, I believe you listened to the updates given by the Chief of the Defense Staff. Your quick reaction to that?
No, definitely, he confirmed many of the things we've been saying for this while. That is to say that our preparedness as a nation, our preparedness in managing crisis, such as the one we are talking about, is not just bad, but it's poor and it lacks merit. Then he also confirmed that under the circumstances, the men up the hill did their best in speeding up the retrieval process and making sure that they landed in Accra peacefully, in a decent manner. If you watch what happened on the day, initially we had some hitches because of the topography and because of the nature of the environment we found ourselves in. But once the bodies got down to where the medical team is, the military came on board fully, and you saw what they did, and they gave our men who have fallen a decency, respect, and honor, and a candor. And you saw the ceremony in Accra. So I agree with him perfectly. As for the timelines, we leave it for the military. Now, they also spoke about international collaboration.
Right.
We have done the first aspect of it already. The DNA and the forensic has come from South Africa. We are waiting on the diagnostic exercise of the black box, and whether it will be sent to China or the Chinese will come here is the standard procedure. So that is where we are as of today.
Now, how will the international involvement impact the credibility and thoroughness of the investigations?
It is not entirely surprising, and it is not entirely new that countries will seek specific expertise from other countries. Ghana has also been of help to some other countries, not just in Africa, but across the globe. Even in the developed countries, we have also been of help to them in specific areas of expertise. Once you have international expertise, what it does is that you have a lot of expertise and skills within a specific pool at your disposal as the leading investigator. Number two, it also helps you to protect or to preserve and safeguard the processes. Then number three, it helps you to achieve homogeneous integrity of the outcomes of the processes far beyond reasonable doubt. Particularly in our country where everybody is suspicious of everybody, in the political arena, in line with what has happened, bringing in international components to the work they are doing as frontline investigators is the best way to go. Even though I agree largely that we need to get as many things within our country to help our cause. It's also nothing wrong with it when you bring others on board.
Mr. Kumado, what measures, again, should the investigative board of inquiry take to ensure transparency and also maintain public trust, especially given the high-profile nature of the victims involved?
Now, one is communication. When the Deputy Minister of Defense said they will need international help in terms of investigation as part of proper communication or political communication, he should have gone further to say the countries they are seeking help from, and to say specifically what type of help they are looking for. It makes life easier for the journalists. It makes life easier for communicators. It makes life easier for the audience or the general populace who are waiting eagerly to hear what has happened and what will be happening next in terms of investigation. But having said that, communication is one. Then a quick update is also number two. Then making substantial aspects of the report public when it is finally done. We also know that trust is built and transparency has been achieved. But I must say that as part of transparency and objectivity, that is also the reason why they are bringing in the international body. We must understand also that it's not all investigation outcomes that lead to prosecution. Some lead to reformation, some lead to decision makers to change a course, some leads to internal control evaluations, and some leads to policymakers who have an adjustable position on certain specific areas. Of course, where there are criminal intended purposes, then you might be looking for punitive actions or disciplinary or prosecutions as a viable option. So that is what we needed to alert our people in terms of public education and creation awareness.
From your perspective, what key lessons can be learned from this incident, and how can the Ghana Armed Forces apply them to improve their air operations?
By now, frontline investigators are aware of about 70 to 80% of what has actually happened to us, what is likely to change, and what is likely to be maintained, and even the areas that will be changed. They know the degree to which it will change in terms of the international support and internal gathering of what has happened. We have done the initial job for the first 3 days, and they are aware. As for the military, the Air Force provides transportation services to the general public, and in terms of emergencies when you need the army. As a nation, we will need to work with the army, and those who control the press must take their eyes as to where they needed certain things, and priority has to be given to them. Then again, you also call on the military hierarchy to be transparent and to be objective and to stop politics. Because if you have a military that they cannot find their own ammunition, and it has been said that ammunition has been stolen from the armory, that is a treasonous offense. So this is the army you have, and integrity and credibility has become an issue for them. But then again, we also need to work with the army because they are our best men and women. You may hate them or like them. Military men for this country, they are the best you have. So if that institution is having challenges and there are vulnerabilities being created, governance and government and civil society, everybody must help them so that our military will become one of the best in the world as it has always been.
All right. Richard Kumado is a security consultant speaking to us on the updates provided by the Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General William Ajepon, on the helicopter crash that happened exactly a week ago.